再嚟一次 OK
Okay.
you have
Okay.
10 minutes and you may start now.
Let's get started. We are allowed to do a presentation to our school, which about how to avoid different kinds of scrap. First of all, let's focus on different types of scrap. I think there have many types. I want to talk about the messages. I think all of us maybe receive a message that your WhatsApp account maybe have a problem of safety if you do click in the link and complete the form to giving them some personal information. The account will be blocked. I've received some messages like that before. Is one of the type of scam. Do you agree, my dears?
Yes, I share with you. I have also received messages and I have actually fall victim in it. And there's actually a hacker hacking my account, and it uses my account to go on some scams on my family and friends. But luckily, they didn't fall victim in it. Another type of scams is phone calls. They can directly call you or for scamming, and maybe they will get your money, try to get your money from that, or in a worst case scenario, they will offer some high-paying job opportunities in overseas. And if you are not clever enough, you can't avoid it, and you will be light in and go for those job opportunities and end up in a foreign country not having any help and like being robbed. In that case, your future will only be doom and gloom, and you will not be able to get back a normal life, most likely. Do you have any points to
you guys
add?
mentioned some of these scams, like for example, you two mentioned online scams and also employment scams. Well, in addition to that, I think one of the most prominent scams is social media scams, right? So we have seen many of these key opinion leaders. They have been advertising their products employed by their companies, right, on social media, be it on live streams or in stories, right? So I feel like in a way, like the fan base of these key opinion leaders may not be too big, right? For some in Hong Kong, like for example, the local influencers in Hong Kong, I feel like in that case, many of these netizens and young people, they're more likely to be scammed because of the way that the key opinion leaders and the young influencers in Hong Kong advertise their products on social media's apps, be it through giving enticing opportunities, like for example, free giveaways. Like for example, if you share my story online, I'm gonna give you free giveaways. But however, in the end, there's no free giveaways, right? So this could be seen that social media scams is one of the most prominent scams in views of many other scams. So do you guys have any other scams to share with us?
Exactly. I think you have mentioned a very good points. The online scam where those online, for example, pop stars will use their influence for like the scammers will use the identity of the social influence. For example, with the advancement of technology, there are some scammers who use, for example, AI software to generate a fake video from Taylor Swift, asking her fans to donate money to some of those illegal websites for some fake purposes. So that is a way for nowadays the scammers to do their scamming, and that is one of the very prominent cases because from the police force study, there are like almost 95% of the Hong Kongers being scammed through this kind of social media, especially in Instagram. And what do you think? Hi. Yeah.
I think most of the scam is something that will take your personal information or just hack your bank account to steal someone.
So I guess you've all expressed your ideas. That scams are definitely feeling some negative impacts on us, on everybody. So let's move on to the next point, discussing the possible victims of scams. In my personal opinion, I think scams are quite definitely specific for everyone, especially for some psychological weaknesses. Take a teenager as an example, as they have a huge desire for money or some something that they want, like an iPhone or even the Apple Vision, the scams might provide some quality or things or money that may attract them, and in the end they might lose their money because of that, or even get their lives at risk.
Yes,
Do
I
you
agree
think
that
this is
you.
a kind of point?
Yeah, I agree that you
Continue,
brought
please.
up young people in Hong Kong, because we're given the fact that these young people are so naive, like they keep on over trusting these prominent social media influencers and such scams, that they may not understand that these scams, like these advertising promoted is actually in fact scams. However, I also want to add up that elderly people, they're also a risk, and they're also like a people which are in like more easily to be scammed, because as we know, elderly people, they have limited experience with this fast-paced technology, right? As we know, they may not be able to keep up with this growing technology, and they may also have less experience and knowledge with such online risk. As we know, students, they may have some knowledge and information through education, for example. However, when it comes to elderly people, they have like limited knowledge, and also again with young people, they are more likely to have a trust in other people, like because they may think of everyone as like good, and they would not expect someone being cruel and mean to them, like having a other pathway to life, right? So do you guys have any other, what's your take on this?
Well, from my personal knowledge, I do agree with you two's idea very much. First of all, about the elderly people, I believe that besides there being the digital immigrants, that they're not having much knowledge about how the technology, how the devices actually works, then they will actually misuse them by like just giving all the important personal information to the scammers. And besides also the low awareness problem of the elderly problem, because they are not that often time they can get access to the information given by, for example, the government, because the governments are now spreading out the information for how to like do anti scams. And however, the elderly people, they are not aware to this kind of information, so they may actually be one of the major group of people to be a victim. And for me, okay,
yeah. You finished first. You finished first?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. Since then we have covered most of the people will be scammed, for example, elderly and teenagers. Do you have anything to add here? If not, since it's time, then let's move on to the next topic, which is about how involved that. I think first of all, we don't to store our personal information or some account password in our phone. When someone who had in our phone, they can got our information or our password, and they can have it, go to our bank and we take our money out, and also don't do some surveys and some I'm sure that you will see in some social media, if you give them some, finish a form, and they will give you some or for example money or some materials or etc., and they will be using your personal information to doing something that you agree on my ears.
Yes, that is a great point. Some surveys from social media can really be suspicious, and they might actually steal your personal
去
information.
旺角啊嘛，係
From my
係
personal
嘅，係。
啊？
咩？
唔緊要開窗，因為好焗啊呢度，係開大少少個窗唔該。
In my personal information, personal aspect, I think the education, like the government can provide education to citizens, organizing some talks or even making posters to educate them. As nowadays technology also hops on the bandwagon, they can also use their Instagram official page to educate teenagers who often use Instagram as their media of knowledge. So this can actually be a pragmatic way for them to let us know about those informations on how to prevent scams from happening on ourselves.
Exactly, I got your point. I can't agree with more. And for some launching some if, and for example, open a post group on Facebook, some hashtag challenge and IG can raise the awareness to most of the people using social medias. Do you have any point to add here?
Well, I appreciate
Sorry,
you guys.
the time is limited. It's all over. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I can't see the time. Sorry.
OK，comment 啦幾個。OK，呢一組係你問我第一組係最好嘅，即係我用英文，because yeah, so I speak English. So for rest of them, if you don't understand any of them, so do let me know later. I think for this group, I think of course I think overall it's a very good performance. But I think the first round, do you remember the first round of today? I think this is the best performance. The difference is not about your individual ability or you're not about your individual contribution. It's more on the integrated synergy. I mean, like the collaborative effort. I think in this round, it's more like your individual show off time. I'm not sure if you understand or not. It feels like, oh yeah, like it's my show off time. And then like Enzo says something and then Rex says something. I think you have to make it more like a collaborative effort. The first thing is to make sure you give at least 30 seconds. You can mark it down first, yes, you can jot it down, like write it on a piece of paper or in a book. The first thing is to make sure you spend at least 20 to 30 seconds elaborating on other people's viewpoints. This is the first thing. And you need to make sure you disagree. If you want to score high, again, disagreeing, challenging. I mean, not the real challenge. I mean, like challenging politely and nicely would be another way. And thirdly, it's about your changing your subtopic, your point, inviting and also clarifying. I think these are like the collaborative efforts, and definitely in this group, it's lacking compared with the performance. I mean, the first round, and the second general comment is about the about why I would feel like it's not engaging. You need to make me feel it's like a teamwork. How do I say it's like a teamwork? You need to say, oh, let me jot this down later. We can include it. I mean, for fairness, can you read aloud the question again? Because I'm actually on a car. Can you read aloud the question? You're in a group.
Your group is going to give a presentation to your school about how to avoid different kinds of scam.
Yeah, it's enough. Yeah, it's enough. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's enough. Yeah. So, I mean, in Cantonese, what I always say is 入戲, right? 要入戲, 投入感. It's actually you're in a group, you're doing a presentation. It's not like you're actually in a group presentation. This is actually what the EDB, the 教育局, and also the EAA always say. You're actually in a group interaction. It's actually not an individual. I mean, like if you actually play a role, play a part, you have to be more authentic and real. So you have to say something like, oh, yeah, we can include it in the presentation. I know it's post cam, right? It's very embarrassing. Like, oh, like always feel, oh, like you look so fake. Yeah, but then that's exactly the overall is actually a fake thing. 即係你覺得好，即係 do you think it's actually a real performance？ 唔係成件事係一個演技嚟嘅。So can you make me feel like you really want to contribute? You want to devote more to this presentation. So what I want to say here is you have to show me your ability in playing a drama. So 好簡單嘅啫， like make it simple. There should be a purpose, POATS, right? For my student, you remember like the writing part. So mark it down. I don't think you need to mark it down because you can remember it by heart or just remember it, I mean, in your brain. And then there should be a background and there should be a target, you have a role and just say it. Oh, we can include it in the presentation. I think in the presentation, that will be our, do you know the word hook? H-O-O-K? 即係可以俾人哋覺得好勁啊，即係個 hook。就好似你平時咧 YouTube 同埋 IG 啦。Sorry, like let me say in Cantonese. 即係平時喺 IG reel 有時你咪點樣會引起你？佢通常有3秒剪㗎嘛，係咪？即係話 你咁樣就會死㗎啦，跟住 beep 係咪？你平時咪因為咁樣所以撳入去睇啫嘛，你明唔明啊？嗰啲 IG reel 同埋 YouTube，你真係 it feels like a presentation, then you have to do it like the real thing, and you have to say, oh, so we can, I think this idea is brilliant. They said, oh, this is brilliant. And then, oh, so for me, it's actually very fake. Then if it is brilliant, then put it into the presentation. It's actually like a role. It's a role play. I would say this is not a group interaction. It's actually a role play. Do you understand? Any one of you like actually are in the drama team, or have you ever taken part in any drama or practice or presentation? I mean, in terms of the drama thing, if you are actually have the experience in drama, then you know how to act like that. I do feel like it's actually, oh, it's like an individual presentation. No, it's not the SBA part, because the SBA actually has examined and also tested your ability in the individual presentation. And every one of you are superb in that. Do you understand what I mean? You have to play a part and include in the presentation. Oh, this idea, I think in our rehearsal. So this is super fake. Yeah, in the next time in our presentation, I think we can have a rehearsal. And I think later we can actually book a cafe, and also we can book an English corner room, because your English teacher like their English corner, right? Do you remember? Or the English fun thing. Oh, we can book it there, and then we can have a real practice. Actually, we don't have it, right? And then time is up, and then you just leave. And then every one of you actually are no longer will see them each other, or maybe you guys are enemy. Do you understand what I mean, right? But then you have to act and play the role. And for those people who don't want to enter university, they think, oh, this looks super stupid, and this looks like, oh, this is actually so fake. I don't want to play that part. Then just get a level 2, like to be more mean or to be more blunt. But this is how it works, right? This is how the society actually works. You have to play a role in that. So I think the English presentation, I mean the speaking itself, actually serves as this purpose. Whether you have the ability to be fake, am I very, say in a very direct way? So I think this time the main problem is not the individual thing. I think every one of you have a very good example. You have very good sentence structures. I mean the whole script, and also the confidence. Of course, you made a very phenomenal, prominent improvements, significant improvements. But the thing is, you have to make sure you have to coordinate with others. Make sure the whole presentation and the whole group make a good effort. So at the end of the day, I would always say luck plays a very important role in your group interaction, because if your player is, as Enzo say, right, is naive. Okay, I remember, don't say the word naive, don't say the word very negative, because actually for me as a teacher, we don't want every one of you to say teenagers are naive. It means that you are stupid. Yeah, it's just another expression of stupid. Then I think you can try to say teenagers are not mature. Try to rephrase your word, because for Enzo and for all of your advanced English speaker, it's not about the vocabulary that you lack. It's more on the way you present and also how you express your way. I would say that you have to make full use of your vocabulary and your English natural ability. Not mature, not sophisticated. You have to say something like that. Oh, because they lack resilience and they lack the life experience. That's why they would make such relatively not mature decision. So you have to make sure everything not that extreme. Because if you say something very politically incorrect in terms of the teacher's perspective, this is not good for you, definitely. So remember, teachers, for example, they don't say that it's like actually 聖人. Yeah, they are they are Jesus. Okay, be honest. 你只要做咩做好人，好事 respect others. That's why Venus just told me, right? Oh, because Enzo is actually an ethnic minority, right? So you are scared. Then as a teacher, I would say, oh, you have to respect it. So remember, this is my role, right? A teacher's role, and say something that teacher would like. This is, I think, what I really want to say for every one of you, especially your English is not bad. You have the ability to identify, to synthesize, and also to integrate the information. Actually, you think that would help you get a very high score. Yeah. Any questions? No. Good. Cool. Then I think I will move it to the individual. I will move it to the individual response part.
What?
So, for Ansel, okay, can you try to calculate, I mean, count your time on your own, count your time. For Ansel, yeah. If a friend emailed you to ask for help and money, what would you do? You have 1 minute and you may start now.
Well, in my opinion, I would definitely give her my helping hand. If she asked me for money, I would definitely not give. I mean, there are better ways that I will do to tackle this situation. First of all, I will tell her why she will urgently need my money. Like I want to evaluate the necessity for her asking me money, right? I want to invest. I want to really tell her problems and what she's really experiencing, right? So that I could get a bigger sense and bigger idea of how to help her. And I could also tell her I could also offer her some other alternatives from giving money. Besides giving money, I could give her some other some other stuff. Like for example, I could pay her through electronic payment apps like Google Pay, even though if she's like she need it in hand. And in addition to that, I will like to talk to my parents, because sometimes I feel like if I give her money immediately without any, consequence, I could be held by my parents, and I do not want to take the risk, and I want to tell and speak to an adult much more. I want to speak to an adult. So in that case, I could really tell I could tell if I'm doing the right thing by giving her money. And in addition to that, I will give her some financial
I think should be
advice.
more than 1 minute, right? Because I didn't count the time. Is it more than 1 minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, remember the first comment is make it short, because when time is up, we definitely will stop you. Yeah, this is the first thing, because I'm afraid like you'll feel super embarrassed, right? And super awkward. So I think you have to practice it like with your time limit, 1 minute, the first comment. Yeah, but then of course, like definitely a very good performance. For second thing, then I think you are here for more comment, right? Not for simply praising you and appreciating you. For of course, it's a very good performance, but of course there should be maybe Wi-Fi connection stuff. So I'm not blaming you, but the question here is if a friend emailed you, it's actually not like if. I think it actually in the second part of your response, if you like the target is not a friend, it's more like a parent or other stuff. Of course, for individual response, don't be afraid, because it's super lenient. You know the word lenient, right? So it's very loose. Like even for me, because I have shared so many times, at that time, I actually misread the question, because it's super hard, right? Individual response is actually an impromptu speech for an 18-year-old kid. I definitely don't think is actually, a task for you guys. It's more like a 30-year-old. Even for me, I actually don't have the confidence to have the impromptu talk, impromptu. So that's why you don't have to scare, even though if you misread the question, because for me, it's actually still a 5 double star at the end of the day. So just try to say whatever you think is correct, show the confidence. But then, of course, it takes some time for you to practice more. If the question is like a friend emailed you, of course, I think you can try to say it depends. It depends on different situations. Like if, for example, depends on the amount of money. If it's probably the amount of money would not be that significant, would not bring you a material impact, then of course I would try to do it. And also a second thing would be to see the intimacy, right? Try to show that you have the ability to organize yourself. Like in general, should be two points. So try to make it like, yeah, I would try, but also depends on different situations. Firstly, blah 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 blah, and then for the last 30 seconds, and then secondly, and then you have to give your own viewpoint, and also of course like your elaboration, evidence, and also the anything stuff. So I think it's good. So just keep it up. Yeah, good, perfect. I think the influence, the fluency, and also the for the rest of them, of course, like is extraordinary. Okay. Cool. 咁第二個啦 Rex 係咪？好 ，Yeah, thank you. Rex 啦 ，Do you think enough has been done to educate the public about the dangers of scams. You have 1 minute and you may start now. Rex 係咪就咗啦？我睇唔到，因為唔緊要啦，佢係咪睇唔到啊？咁阿 Venus 啦嘛 ？Venus 係咪喺度？好，得 Venus 嚟啦。Do you think scamming is a very sorry? Do you think scamming is a very serious crime? You have 1 minute and you may start now.
I think scamming is a very serious crime. You may think that scamming is just hack your iPhone or hack your computer or account to take for some money. But nowadays there are some clients who let you to go to for work or go to some dangerous country and you maybe die or need to go work there and they never come back. Your home country, according to the university, a survey of university in Hong Kong, those kinds of scamming is keeping increasing, and they really affect person very dangerous. So I think this is really a serious crime. Thank you. That's all.
夠鐘啦，係咪？夠鐘。OK。第一樣嘢咧就係你去到第二、第三次咧，可唔可以 rephrase 下條問題？因為呢條問題你冇可能冇其他生字噶嘛 ，vocab challenge， 即係唔用 serious 嘅話，咁應該有其他字啦，係咪？你冇可能一個都唔知噶嘛，係咁就要到你掉落去你去上海街啦，講笑啫，即係例如可能 severe 啦、acute 啦、acute 啦，或者你可以講話係 not an urgent 啦，其實 not 唔係即係 urgent 都係啦，係。或者係唔急啦 ，not urgent 是但啦，即係其實好多字可以俾你轉啦。有時咧去到呢度咧，唔一定要轉一個一模一樣嘅字㗎，教你一個技巧，其實差唔多都得嘅，因為我要睇你嘅英文能力啊。即係始終呢個係個英文考試啦，因為呢個世界真係有啲人係唔讀書㗎嘛。咁你照讀咪即係等於鸚鵡。咁唔好介意 Band 3嘅考都係鸚鵡嚟嘅，即係我講得 mean 啲啊。你老師係真係咁諗嗱，我全部我真心嗰句啊，唔係我把口，你都知我個人唔係咁㗎。但係你老師我真係原話直説嘅啫，咁我都要分邊個係 Band 3，邊個係 Band 1噶嘛，因為佢匿名我都唔知你都考生編號嘅就係 Venus 上面，我都唔知你邊個打邊個，咁所以你有冇呢種能力話俾我知，譬如話actually is not that crucial， 你可唔可以 show 俾我睇你有讀下書？係即係咁講好似好衰啦，係啊，真係要咁㗎，即係頭先你見到 Ansel 佢起碼我唔知啦，即係如果一個 native speaker 咧，我哋自己有個能力，即好似我哋講中文啫嘛，我哋都識換字啦，我哋唔係鸚鵡嚟㗎嘛，係咪？即係 Venus 我講緊啲嘢。你都話Spencer 係咪即係要做女人嘅寵物同閨蜜啊 ？Spencer 係咪即係要女人嘅寵物？你唔好係咁 loop 同埋句説話㗎嘛！你一個 native speaker 你都要換下啦，你都話Spencer 係咪即係我要擦下鞋啊？你明唔明啊？其實你係要 show 咗一個能力去俾人呢樣嘢。which 我唔知道你哋知唔知道即係會唔會唔知道呢一樣嘢咯？咁所以我想講即係我想講俾你哋知道嗰件事就係譬如唔一定，我發覺你哋覺得好難係因為你冇嗰個同義詞啊嘛。嗱 ，reading 係嘅，但係 speaking 啦，我哋嘅要求好低嘅啫。你求其噏到啲字得㗎啦。important 識唔識？係啦，你話咁好嚴重啦 ，Venus 你唔好笑啊！即係例如你話this issue is big 都得㗎，明唔明啊？好過你頭先 serious 咯，你唔好笑係啦，因為起碼 show 到俾我睇你識 serious 呢個字嗱，你又想笑啦，咁點會唔識 serious 啊？我哋真係冇睇過，究竟到時啲同學會係點？你真係仲要同我 show 一個技能係你識 rephrase， 我發覺你唔知咩叫 rephrase 唔係難字啊 ，rephrase 係轉隻字咋，你明唔明啊？我唔係同你講一隻深嘅字咁樣咯，所以呢個係我俾你嘅一個好大嘅 comment， 因為你講咗2-3次 serious 咁樣咯，跟住咧。因為冇人教過你係咪？所以你唔知原來要咁樣係咁無聊都計，係啊，真係好無聊係咪？你覺得唔無聊㗎啦，好勁㗎啦，呢啲嘢全部都。跟住另外就係第三個 comment 就係，我覺得嗰個如果你跟我咁耐啦 ，study 同埋 case 一定要 up 到啦，係咪 ？According to a study 嗰啲咧 ，according to case 嗰啲明㗎啦，係咁樣讀翻落去。好，下一個Ryan 啦，係咪 ？Ryan do you think there is an increasing trend of people being scammed in Hong Kong? You have 1 minute and you may start now.
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. In my personal aspect, I think Hong Kong has an increasing trend in people being scammed. As according to recent statistics collected by the Hong Kong University, more than 40% of the Hong Kongers has received some messages or SMS that might lead them to being scammed or being losing money because of that. And this shows the significance of the ratio of Hong Kong people being scammed. And in those scams, they might receive some messages or phone calls or some direct surveys which may lead them to some defections of their phone or security, and this might lead to their personal information safety, which might put their lives at risk. And so as the ratio increase, we ought to take action to prevent it from happening.
OK 嗱，我覺得 OK 嘅，即係中後期嗰啲啦，我真係有一個好大嘅 comment 啦 ，Ryan 啊 ，Venus 可能都講得出㗎啦，就係我講唔準講咩 ，Thank you for your question 啊，記得 Ryan 睇，你發覺唔緊要啊，你要做一次先會記得，所以淨係捉你哋嚟做，係咪？你唔做咧係唔會記得嘅，咁樣咯，係啦，咁司機係咪應該5分鐘到啊？唔好意思，係咪？我同人講先，得，唔該晒，得，好跟住咧就係OK， 咁然後咧就大概係咁樣啦，係咯，跟住中後期嗰啲 OK study 嘅嗱 ，Venus 陣間同翻 Ryan 咁 Ryan 就知啦，要掉啲 study 出嚟，係啦，同埋啲字啊都係自信啦，嗰個自信要再大聲少少係，唔夠大聲係啦 ，Ryan 同埋叫佢笑，你翻屋企練啦，你成日都唔記得笑，係緊張㗎嘛，明嘅，仲有邊個未講㗎頭先？講晒啦，仲有邊個睇唔到？有邊個未講啊？有冇睇 cam？ 阿 Venus 有冇幫我睇住？邊個未講？有邊個想講啊？嚟
Bethany 呢度有個
Bethany 好 Bethany 好嚟 Bethany have you ever received an unwanted phone call? You have 1 minute and you may start now.
Yeah, I have received a lot of unwanted phone calls because I don't actually know, but I think I received maybe twice a week, but I didn't listen to it, and after I received it, I just blocked them because I think this is annoying, and yeah, and I think why I receive unwanted phone call is because maybe some of my personal information is like when I am filling some form that before I need to use some apps, or maybe just like in my life, and this is my share. Thank you.
都係啦，仲分啦，係啦，仲分啦，嗰樣嘢啦，喺度嘛，係啦，即係你話 because I have received a lot of unwanted phone calls because of 2 reasons. First， 即係因為 they are very annoying. Secondly, I feel like they are intruding my privacy. 跟住主要係 study 係啦，阿 Bethany 係咪我學生嚟㗎？因為我有啲學 studio 嗰啲咧，冇所謂啊，你幫我了解下啫。佢係唔係睇唔到？係咪？
係啊。
係啊，咁就好啦，係啦，我學生義教啊嘛，即係 SSE 即係 study，即係可以講下啲 study 啊，記唔記得 experience 啊，就唔使放嗰啲 secret 生活，唔會放到嘅，你記住係啦，冇可能㗎，因為我即係文職都做唔到啦，咁癲，咁所以就主要呢樣嘢，咁你叫仲分咯，即係 I received phone calls because of 2 reasons. Firstly, secondly， 即係咁樣去做就會比較好少少啦，係啦，咁樣，有冇人想做？唔一定要頭先嘅，Venus 幫我睇住啊，我。冇啦，太好啦！咁你哋等我陣啦，我而家嚟緊嘅，太好啦，非常好啦，已經 overrun 晒啦，係啦，我會嚟緊，仲有3分鐘，你等我過嚟啦，係你過嚟溫下書先啦，好啦，我陣過嚟講兩句，唔該，好，加油，大家努力啦，我識啦，我都識㗎啦，好，唔拜拜啦，走啦，努力嘅一齊順利，拜拜。